What we have here, good people of the world, is the 2023 Triumph Street Triple 765. The 215,000 Rand RS model, of course. Because in South Africa, we don't bother with anything less than full spec. And this is not just full of specs. It's full of racing R&D specs. Triumph has been supplying motors for the Moto2 World Championship since 2019, and they've learnt a few things. Of course, those few things eventually end up in the hands of us mere mortals. And today is that day, which begs an important question. With all this newfound aggressive race setup, have they ruined it? At this point, we probably owe you some sort of an explanation.
The thing about race bikes is that they're very good for racing and ridden by racers. The problem is that racers tend to ride really hard and put things right to the very edge. It's sort of the point of racing. And the bikes that they ride are made to do that. So when you're a pro racer, the bike feels good. When you're a normal human being, it feels awful.
We start with the ride height that was increased by 20mm thanks to a new mount on the shock absorber.
I feel higher on this bike, and it's definitely taller. I feel more sort of tippy-toe. Also, the bars feel lower, so I'm a little bit more on top of the bike. The previous street triples, you were sort of sitting in the bike. This, you are on it. You are riding sort of horseback. I'm not sure what to think of that.
It feels almost like a supermoto, but there's more to it than just growth hormones. The aluminium frame stays the same, with redialed shower forks and an Öhlins rear shock. However, the rake has been steepened by 0.7 of a degree, while the trail has been reduced from 100mm to 96.9. To sum everything up, it's been made shorter and taller, and that's potentially worrying.
And one of the things that they do, and it's happened a few times up to quite recently, is they make motorcycles shorter and higher and all of that, and the trick is that it tips very quickly, but then feels wobbly in that. However, it's a bit of a glass posing as diamond, because when the customer comes to the shop and takes it for a ride just around the block, they say, wow, it feels so good, look at the way it turns. Yeah, when they try and push it really hard, it doesn't work so well.
This begs a new question. Is that the case here?
In some ways, yes. It tips so nicely in the corners, but yeah, the last street triple felt so solid mid-corner. It felt like you could kind of do anything with it. There was a lot of confidence in the bike. Yeah, you had to wrench it in, but once you were there, it just felt planted. I'm not sure this is quite the same. It is taller, so it's more difficult to put your knee down. And for those who kind of want to do those sort of things, obviously I could do it, but I just don't feel like it naturally. Harder to put your elbow down too.
So we are off to a shaky start, but we continue onwards to the motor. That's still a 3-cylinder 765cc unit, although Moto2 tech has been poured in here as well. It has new pistons, conrods, valves, higher lift cams, and shallower intake ducts, all pointing towards a revier power delivery. More so, the compression ratio has been raised massively from 12.5 to 13.2.
Whoa! This thing's a proper pocket rocket!
Of course it is. The power is up from 121 to 128 horsepower, with an extra Nm of torque for good measure. Also, the gearbox has been made shorter, like a race bike. The final drive ratio is also shorter, for even more acceleration.
Oh! That's intoxicating! That's intoxicating! And I was there, I was worried that Triumph were going to put all the power at the top of the rev range like a proper race bike. It doesn't feel that way. It's like as you open the throttle, boom, tons of power. Sort of kicks you in the backside.
And with going forward comes the occasional need to stop. So the Street Triple is adorned with a top shelf set of Brembo Stylemma calipers.
Braking hard, oh, those Stylemma brakes, there's so much feel. Not only do they stop hard, but they just feel the whole way through the lever. It's like you are completely in control of what's going on with that brake lever. It tells you exactly what it's doing. It doesn't surprise you, it does not snatch you, it's so smooth. It gives you a lot of confidence.
Naturally, with every new motorcycle comes all the gadgets James Bond can dream of, including the usual Triumph TFT dash.
So once again, Triumph has gone all psychedelic on the dash. There's 4 different styles. There we go, there's one weird one like that. There's one where it goes even smaller, and there's one where it all goes to the side. The problem I find is that none of them are that great. I mean, none of them show this, for example, the rev counter. So you're riding, you want to know what revs you are, you want to know the limiter, you want to know all of that kind of stuff. It doesn't really show you that. You have to look very carefully. Until, of course, you get to the limiter, in which case, it all lights up. Check this out. Okay, that's kind of cool.
And then there's my favorite gadget.
This quick shifter works amazingly. Out of this corner, brake down one, no problem, slight little notch. Through the corner, and change gear. That bit of racing I do like. That bit of racing is very cool. Let's do it again. Onto the straight. Boom! Red light, change gear. Red light, change gear. Okay, I'm starting to like this dash a little bit. Alright, that's actually pretty cool. Oh, listen to that sound. That sound is incredible. It's the sound of everything you love. Sounds like that kept people in medieval times awake at night. Sounds like that are used in horror stories. Sounds like that plague the worst nightmares. I'm really starting to enjoy this motorbike.
The more you ride it, the more it all starts coming together. Even the handling started feeling better once I got more used to it.
The gaps between corners are just that. They're just gaps, they're not straight. Taken up in a flurry of triple whale. One place this bike is going to feel very good is on a public road. Especially with that quick steering and that motor. You're going to upset a load of big super bikes. They're going to hate you.
And it keeps getting better and better.
Something we're all quite used to these days with naked motorcycles. There's the whole kind of point of naked motorcycles. Yeah, I could probably do faster lap times on a fairing bike, full-on super bike, but with this, I'm more kind of part of the action. There's more theatre. More sort of action. I feel action-filled here. When as a super bike, you're kind of looking through a screen. Here, I'm just looking at everything. I'm there. I feel like I'm on the track. It's actually me doing this. It feels so cool. I like the dash. I like the motor. I'll forgive the change in the chassis. I love the Street Triple. I love the Street Triple. This is one of the most joyous motorcycles you can ride.